What first comes to mind when you think of higher education is universities. Could you give a definition of these institutions?
In Europe, the Bologna process has resulted in the convergence to define universities as teaching and research institutions comprising several faculties and delivering bachelor's, master's and doctoral degrees. Because this system is very close to the organization of the US universities, the model has tended to become the globally accepted as the definition of a university, although differences arise when you go further into the detail of the different countries. While universities are allowed to select their students on the basis of academic criteria or quotas in a number of countries, in others they are open to all secondary school leavers. But the most structuring figures in the definition of the university is the coexistence of education and research. These are expensive activities, and the overwhelming majority of universities worldwide are not-for-profit universities, either public or privately run.
Does a higher education student necessarily attend a university?
No, he doesn't. Actually, the proportion of university enrollment among the student population varies greatly across countries. In France, for example, it is only 56% in 2016. In most countries, the higher education system comprises other types of tertiary institutions: community colleges, polytechnics, technological institutes, school of management, school of arts, health and social training institutions, etc. Although their characteristics vary depending on the country's context and the history, they all offer vocationally oriented programs in specific fields, most of the time short-term. They account for a large proportion of the students in a number of countries. These non-university institutions are largely responsible for the tremendous growth that the higher education sector has registered in the last decades.
How are these non-university curricula perceived?
Perceptions also vary greatly across countries. In a large number of countries, but not all, great prestige is attached to university, especially when admission is granted based on selective criteria. But the vocationally oriented dimension of the non-university programs, especially in the case of short-term curricula, can act as a guarantee of employability, which makes them attractive to students. Besides, they are often bridges between the different types of institutions. In the countries where qualification has a positive impact on the employment, the different kinds of tertiary institutions constitute a complex ecosystem where the interaction between them create opportunities of customized curricula that meet everyone's needs. In some countries, the most prestigious higher education institutions do not belong to the local university system, like in India, with its Indian Institute of Management or Indian Institute of Technology. It is also the case in France with its Grande École, although they are regarded worldwide as university of a human scale.